Good day, you're watching African Free Press Television. My name is Sam Adedoyin here bringing you the news today. First, the headlines. Mixed reactions trail arrest of judges by DSS. Federal government may reopen forgery allegation against Saraki and Ike Ekweremadu. Electricity supply drops again. NYSC slashes number of prospects due to recession. And Kaduna government orders Shite spokesman's arrest. Now the news in detail. The presidency has finally reacted to the arrest of some judges across the country, insisting that corruption and not the judiciary was under attack. In a statement issued by Garba Shehu, special advisor to President Muhammadu Buhari on media and publicity, he maintained that the president reserves his highest respect for the institution of the judiciary as a third arm of the government. He added that the recent surgical operation against some judicial officers is specifically targeted at corruption and not the judiciary as an institution. He also stated that the media should be careful about the fault lines they open, as it is wrong to present the incident as a confrontation between the executive and judicial arms of government. However, the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has criticized a statement released by the Department of State Services detailing how operatives found a huge amount of money during nationwide raids on homes of judges. Wike said the report was concocted to justify an unconstitutional assault on the nation's judiciary. The Nigerian Bar Association itself has also declared a state of emergency in the judiciary over the midnight arrest by the DSS. The association is also asking the DSS to immediately release the judges without conditions. It says the arrests are disturbing and unconstitutional, describing it as a situation that had never been witnessed before, reiterating that since the country is not under military rule, some things were not just acceptable. There is a possibility that the federal government may be planning to slam fresh forgery charges against Senate President Bukola Saraki and his deputy Ike Ekweremadu. Although some key officials in the Ministry of Justice refused to confirm the development, another source has said there is a possibility of filing another charge against them. The source, who declined to be named based on what he said, the sensitive nature of the case, says things would be clear in the next few days. Last week, the government gave reasons why it decided to withdraw the 2-count forgery charge it initiated against Senate President Bukola Saraki and his deputy, Ike Ekweremadu, before an Abuja High Court at Jabi. The government said it took the decision because the subject matter is pending before Justice Gabriel Kolawole of the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court. Umar told the court that though his witnesses, including the investigative police officer in charge of the case, were prepared and ready to testify, the federal government took the action as a mark of its respect for the rule of law. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has described the withdrawal of the forgery case against Saraki and Ekweremadu and two others as meaningless, describing it as a shadow case from the beginning. The party added that it was worried by the APC's frequent interference in the affairs of other arms of government and noted that it must be curtailed immediately if Nigeria must operate like other democratic systems across the world. Electricity supply in the country declined to 3,568 megawatts yesterday, as against the peak generation of 4,000 megawatts recorded on Saturday, the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN) has stated. According to TCN, 3,568 megawatts of electricity generated by the generation companies was distributed to 11 distribution companies accordingly. It further explained that the power sector hit a peak generation of 4,000 megawatts, while the lowest generation was 2,853 megawatts. It indicated that the gas constraints and activities of pipeline vandals had continued to hamper improved power supply. In spite of government's efforts to increase electricity supply in the country, generation has continued to hover around 3,500 to 4,000 megawatts. Though the country's installed capacity stands at 11,000 and over megawatts, the network operations capacity remained at 5,500 megawatts. The National Youth Service Corps Directorate Headquarters Abuja has slashed the number of prospective corps members for the next phase of mobilization. The disclosure was made in a leaked internal memo dated 4th of October 2016 and sent to all heads of departments of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University. The memo, signed by Mrs. Ifeoma Egboka, Office of the Dean of Student Affairs, said NYSC explained that the slash was as a result of the tight budgetary allocation of the scheme. It therefore asked the HODs to work out the percentage of the number 894 in total for each department as against the initial 2,314. The development may not be unconnected with the economic recession. Last month, Media and Publicity Director NYSC confirmed that the organization was in need of funds, that the 10,500 naira as budgeted by the government for core member kits was no longer enough. Kaduna State government has ordered the arrest and prosecution of Ibrahim Musa, spokesman of the Islamic Movement in Nigeria, IMN, a sect it declared illegal last Friday. A few hours after the sect was declared illegal, Musa publicly admitted that he was a member and identified himself as the spokesman. Kaduna State government directed the State Commissioner of Police to ensure Musa was arrested and prosecuted by the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice. The state government also directed all security agencies to vigorously enforce the law and said citizens could not be allowed to wantonly test the laws of the state or act as being above the law. Samuel Arwan, spokesman of the Nasir El-Rufai governor of the state, in a statement said, drawing on powers vested by Section 49 of the Constitution and Section 97A of the Penal Code, the governor signed an order declaring the IMN as an unlawful society in the interest of the public order and to protect the rights and freedoms of all persons in Kaduna State. Ibrahim Zaki, leader of the Shiite sect, has been in detention since his followers clashed with military and soldiers in Zaria in December 2015. That brings us to the end of the news today. My name is Sam Adedoyin Kubuyi for African Free Press Television. For more information, check our website at www.africanfreepress.com. Have a lovely day.